She's my mother, and I'm her son.
He's my son, I'm his mother.
My name is Eliana Cervantes, and I teach 7th grade nonfiction studies here in San Francisco.
My name is Debbie Kagiyama, and I am a performance artist.
My mom was looking for more opportunities and a better life here. Most of her siblings had already moved to the United States.
So my great-grandparents came to the United States from Japan around the turn of the century.
My parents came from Japan. My father left Japan and first went to Peru. He went to work on a plantation. In 1920, he went back to Japan and married my mother, and she came over. And they lived in the Central Valley of California for most of their life. They were farmers. My mother was a farm laborer just as well as my father.
I knew that I was moving, but I didn't really understand that I was moving to a new country and what it meant to be an immigrant, but even an illegal immigrant coming into the United States. I think my 5-year-old brain didn't really grasp that yet.
What's interesting to me is to sort of look back through history and realize how much of that has impacted our lives today, my life, and even the younger generations today, with how we think about what we're trying to be and do in the society, and where all of that comes from, and kind of unpack it.
Well, I still remember when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor and how scared I was to go to school the next day. I still remember that.
When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, our West Coast became a potential combat zone. Living in that zone were more than 100,000 persons of Japanese ancestry. Military authorities therefore determined that all of them, citizens and aliens alike, would have to move. This picture tells how the mass migration was accomplished.
We were put in one room with no partitions. Just all that was in the bed was a cot and an army blanket. No tables, no chairs, no running water, no sink, no toilet. We had to eat our meals in a mess hall, every meal. So we never ate with our families. We just ate with whoever. And most of the people stayed there for 3 or 4 years. The worst part was when we came back. None of my previous friends would talk to me or play with me. They acted like they didn't know me. I still remember my sister and I would walk home from school, and this high school boy, this white boy, would follow us in his car every day and yell at us.
The fact of the matter is it was incarceration because the majority of the Japanese Americans were American citizens. We're no longer referring to it as internment camps. We're referring to it as concentration camps because that's really what they were. When the Japanese Americans were incarcerated, it was done so very much on false information. And it was only proven decades after the fact that all the key information they relied upon as rationale to lock up Japanese Americans was completely, was fake. Using the Japanese American incarceration experience is an important lesson that can be used to combat a lot of what people are proposing right now.
There hasn't, before this administration, there has never been a time, at least in my life, where I felt unsafe as an immigrant in this country. There's always, been dislike or even hatred towards immigrants. I personally never experienced that until this administration. I think there's also a lot of stress as someone who depends on the immigration system here for my work and for just staying here. There was definitely a lot of stress on whether I would be able to stay here beyond this, this academic year of teaching.
Well, what sent Japanese Americans to the concentration camps was President Roosevelt signed an executive order, just one signature. That's all it took to send. Congress didn't have to do anything. He just signed an executive order, and 120,000 people got sent to a concentration camp. That's scary. And what to me is more scary is our current president says it was the right thing to do. He has said that.
There's a fine line between being a witness and an actor. Like when you are a witness of something, especially something so unjust or tragic, that it sort of impels you to action. Like you have to start to think, okay, what is wrong with this situation and what is it that I can do in order to change the situation?
What happened was that I had a very nice teacher, and her name was Nina Cleveland. I still remember that. She wrote to me the 3 years that I was away in the camp. And so that's what a difference a teacher can make in your life.
I think the message that I would like to send is just that we are here to do something good, and I think that we can bring our experiences to do something good, and we're not here to, take jobs or do all this other stuff that's said in the media. So I think also like growing up, realizing that you're not this bad person and you want to like hold on to your culture, and then you want to use that to do something good.
More than anything, it's critical that everybody stands united and works together and not try to take care of their own, but stand in solidarity with one another. I think that is the most powerful weapon that all our communities have to combat some of the hatred that's going on in this country right now.